Welcome back. So in this video we will be discussing UV Woodward-Pfizer rules for predicting lambda max of dynes. Let's start with the introduction. As all of you are aware, the UV visible spectroscopy is mainly used for quantifying the concentration of analyte, and usually the absorbance is taken at its lambda max. So lambda max is a characteristic property for a particular drug in a particular solvent, and lambda max is a maximum absorption at a particular wavelength. So we can predict the lambda max for a particular compound. If we know the structure, we can apply certain empirical rules and we can predict at what particular lambda max or at what particular wavelength the compound or the structure will get maximum absorbance. So in UV spectroscopy, as we know, most of the compounds absorb the UV light. They are called as UV active substances, and especially the compounds or the structure which has pi bond in it, which has a pi electrons, they easily absorb the UV light in a UV region that is from 800 to 190 nanometer. And in this case, what exactly happens, the molecule undergo the electronic transitions. So in theory we have studied the molecule undergo sigma to sigma antibonding electronic transition or pi to pi antibonding electronic transitions, and especially the molecules which has conjugation in its structure, or they are called as the dynes, and especially those dynes have the pi bond or the double bond, as we can see here in the structure. So these are called as dynes. So this is actually 1,4-butadiene because there are 4 carbon atoms and 2 double bonds here. So this is actually the pi bond. So this has a pi electrons. So usually for such type of molecules, when they absorb the UV light, they undergo pi to pi antibonding transition, and this pi to pi antibonding transition usually require less amount of energy. Less amount of energy in the sense, when UV light is absorbed, UV light is in the form of photons. So this particular electrons will undergo the transition from the ground state to the excited state, which requires comparatively less amount of energy. So because of less amount of energy, we can see the wavelength of light is comparatively in the longer range, means towards the 800. Whereas in case of, if we have the sigma bonds, especially in case of aliphatic compounds with kind of alkane structure, where we have a sigma bond, so sigma to sigma antibonding transition usually require higher amount of energy to shift from the ground state to the excited state. So because of this high amount of energy, which is especially present in the UV region that is towards the 190 nanometer, so we rarely see the kind of alkane molecules. They usually absorb the UV light in the far UV region that is near to 190 to 200 nanometer. So as the conjugation increases, the increase in conjugation, so here you can see there are 2 double bonds. Here there is one more additional double bond, and because of this, the absorption maxima will shift towards the longer wavelength. So here if we compare this dyne with this particular conjugated system, in this case the absorption maxima will be showing the bathochromic shift. It will be shifted towards the longer wavelength. So we know in case of UV spectroscopy, there is a concept of chromophore. So chromophore, we can see here an simplest example of phenol, where we have a benzene ring which has a delocalized pi electrons, and in this case this benzene structure is actually responsible for absorbing the UV light. So this acts as a chromophore, which is an important part for any compound to absorb the UV light. Whereas the presence of this phenolic OH or the hydroxyl group, it themselves does not absorb the UV light, but due to presence of this OH functionality, it will shift the absorption maxima of this chromophore towards the longer wavelength, towards the 800 nanometer. Hence this particular functionality like OH or SH or NH, they are acting as a oxochromic group. So oxochrome alone, if they are present, they will not absorb the UV light. However, their presence along with chromophore will give the bathochromic shift. So this is the introduction of this particular video lecture. So usually when we need to find out the lambda max for a particular drug, we have to record the spectra in the UV instrument, and experimentally we have to perform that. However, the Robert Woodward and the Louis Fisher have formulated certain sets of empirical rules which help us to predict the wavelength of the absorption maxima, which is called as lambda max, in a UV visible spectrum for a given compound. So without doing the experiment, we can find out the lambda max for a particular UV active compound, at what particular lambda max the substance will have the maximum absorbance, and what inputs will be used in these calculations, mainly the type of chromophore in the structure, and what kind of functionalities, what we usually consider as a oxochromic functionalities or oxochromic groups. Then let's start with the actual Woodward Fisher empirical rules. So in this case, the first base value we have to consider for the dienes, that is the acyclic butadiene. So we can see here the structure of acyclic butadiene. So there are 4 carbons, and the double bond is at carbon number 1 and carbon number 3 here. So this is a cyclic butadiene. It is called as acyclic because this is not in the cyclic form. This is not in the cyclic form, right? This is not in the cyclic form. And then we have another structure. So though this is the cyclic structure, but the diene system is partly in the ring and partly outside the ring. So this is again a example of diene system. Again here it is a butadiene system, and partly it is inside the ring, partly it is outside the ring. So we consider this kind of system also as a acyclic butadiene, and if we are observing such kind of systems, we have to consider the base value as 215 nanometer. Second is the homoannular diene. So homo indicates the similar or in same system, and in this case homoannular diene system is a conjugated cyclic system in which we have the double bonds present inside one ring structure. So here we can see in this particular ring both the double bonds are present. So this is homoannular diene system. Here also we can see the conjugation or the diene system, both the double bonds are present inside the one ring system. Here we can see an structure of a fused cyclic system, but in this case also, though it is fused, but the diene system is present in this particular ring structure. So this is again an example of homoannular diene. Similarly, we can see here there is another example in which both the diene system, the conjugation is present in this another ring, but both are present in the same ring. So this is again an example of homoannular diene. So whenever we see such kind of structure which has a double bond in one ring itself, we consider it as base value 253 nanometer. The third type of base value is exactly different than what we have discussed now, that is the heteroannular diene. So hetero means it is a different, so it is not the same. So in this case we can see there is a diene system, whereas one double bond is in one ring system and the other double bond is in another ring system. So whenever we have an example of heteroannular diene, there will be usually two rings. Heteroannular diene is possible only in case of two rings, okay, and homoannular can be possible with one or multiple rings. In this case the conjugation is like this. So one double bond is in this ring. So if I consider this is ring A and this is ring B, So we can see here one double bond is a part of ring A, whereas the other double bond is mainly the part of ring B. So this is called as heteroannular diene. Similarly, we can see here in this particular structure, this is what it is, a heteroannular or homoannular. So in this case, we can see though two rings are present, but these two double bonds are inside the one ring system or A ring system. So this cannot be considered under the heteroannular diene. So this is exactly what we have discussed here. So this is an example of homoannular diene. So other example here, so we can see here there are two double bonds and the conjugation is marked here. So one double bond is a part of ring A, whereas other double bond is a part of ring B. So this is an example of heteroannular diene. So here we have to consider the base value as 215 nanometer. So these are the three base values applicable for dienes. So whenever we see the diene structure, either these it can be a acyclic butadiene, it can be a homoannular diene, or it can be a heteroannular diene. So keep in mind, acyclic butadiene and heteroannular diene both have 215 nanometer as a base value, whereas homoannular diene has little higher value as 253 nanometer. So along with this base values, there are certain additional values. For example, double bond extending the conjugation. So what is the meaning of double bond extending conjugation? So we know the diene system here. So this is a diene system. Now along with this diene system, there is one more double bond which has been in conjugation or in continuation with the previous one. So this double bond is in continuation of these previous two. So this is called as double bond extending the conjugation. So this double bond is actually extending these conjugation, and here there is a one double bond extending the conjugation. So for each double bond extending conjugation, we have to add the 30 nanometer along with our base value. Similarly, you can see here this is a diene system. So we can mark here the diene system. So this is one diene system, then this is continued with another double bond. So there is one more double bond extending conjugation, and then again there is one more double bond extending the conjugation. So usually for better understanding, whenever we have a double bond extending conjugation, so wherever it is extending the double bond extending the conjugation, we can mark as a star for ease of understanding. Okay, now consider the next one. So here we have a ring system, so we can mark the conjugation diene system here, and then to this conjugation another double bond is extending its value. It is one double bond extending the conjugation. Similarly, you can see here, so this is a conjugation, and this double bond is extending the conjugation here. This double bond was extending the conjugation here. So for each double bond extending conjugation, 30 will be added. See here, so this is a conjugation, then this double bond is extending the conjugation, and for this double bond is extending the conjugation. So we can put the star mark here and another star mark here. So this is an example of double bond extending the conjugation. The next one is exocyclic double bond. So this exocyclic double bond has a value of 5 nanometer. So you can see here, if I consider again this as ring A and this as ring B. Now in this case, you can see here this double bond which is in conjugation with double bond of ring A. So this double bond is the exocyclic double bond for ring A, whereas ring B doesn't have any exocyclic double bond. So the simple trick to identify the exocyclic double bond is one carbon of such exocyclic double bond will be a part of ring A, whereas the other carbon atom will be a part of other ring. It will not be a part of ring A. So usually we have to indicate the exocyclic double bond like this in the structure whenever we are solving. So you can see here another example. So this is the exocyclic double bond. So here one carbon is a part of ring and the other carbon is not part of this ring system. So that is how we can easily identify the exocyclic double bond. Then you can see here, so this is ring A. So ring A has here one exocyclic double bond, whereas ring B also has one exocyclic double bond. So this is a exocyclic double bond for ring B, and this is a exocyclic double bond for ring A. Similarly here we can see, now in this case this particular double bond is shared in between ring A and B, and this is not exactly the exocyclic double bond, because this carbon and this carbon, they are part of ring A as well as ring B. So in such case this cannot be considered as a exocyclic double bond. Look at the other structure. So if I consider this as ring A, this as ring B, and this as ring C, so this double bond is a exocyclic double bond for ring B, then this double bond is a exocyclic double bond for ring A, and this double bond is a exocyclic double bond for ring B. So there are 3 exocyclic double bond for this particular structure. So for each exocyclic double bond we can have addition of plus 5 nanometer. And the last one is alkyl substituent or the ring residues, which has a value of 5. So here we can see, we can mark the conjugation like this. So this is a diene system present inside the ring, and there are some substituent on the ring system. Now these substituent are considered as alkyl substituent. So what are alkyl substituent? They are the branches to the main diene system. So you can see here, this is a branch, this is a branch. So these are the branches to the main diene system or the conjugation system, which is not a part of the ring structure. This is not a part of the ring structure. It is just attached as a substituent to the ring structure. So they are considered as alkyl substituent. So alkyl substituent usually are marked like this. So there are 1, 2, 3 and 4 alkyl substituents. So 4 multiplied by 5, it will be 20, addition of 20 to the base value. Then you can see here, this is a conjugation, and then there is a alkyl substituent here. So there is a one alkyl substituent in this case. You can see here, this is a conjugation, then there is a one alkyl substituent, then second alkyl substituent, and third alkyl substituent. So 3 alkyl substituent in such case. Now look at the other part, that is the ring residue. So ring residues are, again, they are the branch of main diene system or the conjugated system. So here we can see the conjugated system of this particular ring, and the branches are part of this ring system. So here we can see there is a one branch and there is another branch, and this is inside the ring, it is a part of the ring, in contrary to these 3. So this is considered as a ring residue. So there are 2 ring residues in this particular ring structure. So again, look at this, there is a conjugation here, then we have one ring residue here, another ring residue here, and third ring residue here. So these are the branches to the main diene system or the conjugation system, which is a part of the ring structure. So that's why they are called as ring residues. Similarly, we can have here an example. So this one, then second, then third and fourth one. So there are 4 ring residues for this particular ring structure. So these are the values we should remember whenever we get the structure or question in the examination. So base values we should remember, and along with base values, these are the add-on values, and we should add based on the number of kind of these additions, and we have to calculate the predicted lambda max. Now let's have some example for better understanding. So in examination, usually we get the question for 3 or 4 marks as predict the lambda max for the following structure or the compound. and the structure is given. So you can see here. So what we have to do, so there is a particular systematic procedure to answer such questions. So you have to draw the structure, then first you have to mark the conjugation like this. So this is a conjugation marked, and here first we need to find out, this is the diene system, but we have to find out the base value. Now in this case, this is a cyclic kind of structure, and one double bond is in ring B, whereas the other double bond is in ring A. So this is a heteroannular diene system. So we know that the heteroannular diene system has the value of 215 nanometer. So base value we have to write as a 215 nanometer. Then we have to find out, are there any exocyclic double bond. So I can see here there is one exocyclic double bond for ring B, and also there is one exocyclic double bond for this ring A. There is no double bond extending conjugation. Here we can see only two double bonds, so there is no question of double bond extending conjugation, and there are no alkyl substituents, whereas we can have ring residues. So there is one ring residue here, another ring residue here, then third ring residue, and fourth ring residue. So these are the things what we need to answer. So it can be marked like here. So base value you have to write, it is a heteroannular diene 215. Then there are no double bond extending conjugation, so this is need not to be written. Then exocyclic double bond, there are two exocyclic double bonds, so 2 multiplied by 5, it will be 10. So exocyclic double bond we have marked like this, so you can write here like this. Then ring residues you have marked with the dash. So there are 4 ring residues, so it will be 20. So 215 plus 10 plus 20, the answer will be 245 nanometer. So this kind of structure or compound will have a predicted lambda max using the empirical rules given by Woodward and Pfizer as 245 nanometer, and the actual lambda max, experimental lambda max, is very near to the predicted one, that is 246 nanometer. So with quite good accuracy we can able to predict the lambda max without performing the experiment by using these rules. Taken another example, predict the lambda max for this following compound. So we can see here there is no cyclic structure, so it is definitely a cyclic diene. Now in this case the base value is again 215 nanometer, and we can mark the conjugation like this. So this is a conjugation mark, and the base value is 215 nanometer. Then there are no double bond extending conjugation, and there is one alkyl substituent here as methyl group. So we can write the base value of a cyclic diene as 215 nanometer. Then there is no double bond extending conjugation, there are no exocyclic double bond because it is not a ring structure, and there is only one alkyl substituent which has a value of 5. So the predicted lambda max for this particular compound is 220 nanometer. 220 nanometer. So by mistake it is written as 222. In some of the books for acyclic diene system the value is given to 17 nanometer. So both are correct. You can use it either 215 or 217. Then let's have some examples. So look at the structure 1. So this is again a cyclic structure. So first what we need to do, we need to mark the diene system. So the base value here will be 215 nanometer. Then there is no exocyclic double bond because it is not a ring structure. There is one alkyl substituent here, so it will be plus 5. So the total value will be 220 nanometer. 220 nanometer. Then look at this structure. So the conjugation can be marked like this. So this is what kind of diene system? This is a heteroannular diene system because one double bond is a part of ring B and other double bond is a part of ring A. So the heteroannular diene has a base value of again 215 nanometer. Then find out the exocyclic double bond. So here I can find one exocyclic double bond for ring A. So exocyclic double bond has a value of 5. Then there are no double bond extending conjugation because we are able to see here only 2 bonds. Then find out the ring residues, 1 for this particular conjugation, then here and another one. So 3 ring residues, so it will be 5 multiplied by 3, it will be 15. So the total value will be 235 nanometer. So the predicted lambda max is 235 nanometer. Taken another example of this cyclic cysteine. So first we can mark the conjugation. It is a cyclic diene cysteine. So again the base value is 215 nanometer. Then we have here 3 double bonds and all are in conjugation. So there is a one double bond extending the conjugation. So this double bond is extending the conjugation, or if you are taking from right to left, then this double bond will extend the conjugation. So there is one double bond anyway which is extending the conjugation, so that has a value of 30. Then find out the alkyl substituents. Here there is one alkyl substituent on this side, then another on here, and the third one on this side. So 5 multiplied by 3, it will be 15 here. So the total value will be 260 nanometer. So these compounds, we have predicted the lambda max at which they will show the maximum absorbance. Then let's have a look on other examples so that we'll have a better understanding. Now in this case we can find, so there are 3 rings. In ring A and ring B there is a conjugation. So you can see here this conjugation is continued in this way. So if I don't consider this double bond, so it is a heteroannular diene cysteine. If I don't consider this double bond, it is a homoannular diene cysteine. So to be very precise, in such case it looks like a homoannular as well as it looks like a heteroannular. In such case the homoannular has a greater value, that is 253 is a value for homoannular diene. So in such case the base value is considered the greater value. So here the base value will be taken for homoannular diene. The base value is 253. Then what we can do, we can mark the conjugation like this. Then there is one double bond extending the conjugation. So if you are starting from this side, double, single, double, single, double, so this double bond has extended the conjugation which has a value of 30. Then find out the exocyclic double bond. So you can see here this is a exocyclic double bond for ring A, then another exocyclic double bond for this ring C. So we have 2 exocyclic double bond here. So one exocyclic double bond has a value of 5, so it will be 10. Then what else? Find out the ring residues. One ring residue here, another ring residue here, one more here, and another here. So there are 4 ring residues. So it will be 20. 5 multiplied by 4, it will be 20. So 253 plus 30 plus 10 plus 20, it will be 313 nanometer. This is a predicted lambda max for this particular compound. Then take another example. This is again a non-cyclic or acyclic diene cysteine. I can see here double, single, double, then single here, then single here, then here there is no double bond, so conjugation has not been extended, right? So the conjugation has stopped here, so we should not consider this double bond. And here you can see double, single, double, single, then single, double, single. So there is no conjugation here, so this double bond is not making conjugation, so we should not consider this. So this is a diene cysteine, so the base value is again 215 nanometer. Then you can see there are no double bond extending the conjugation. Then you can find out the there is no question of again exocyclic double bond. Then just find out the alkyl substituents. So there is 1, 2 and 3, so it will be 15. So that's all. The total value is 230 nanometer. Then take another example. So again this is a ring cysteine. So you can see here there is a homoannular diene, and it can be also a heteroannular. So we consider this kind of structure as a homoannular diene cysteine. So the base value for homoannular is 253 nanometer. Then mark the conjugation, starts from here or on the other side. This is a conjugation which is continued even in this ring C, and it is like this. So this is a conjugation. So we can see here double, single, double, diene cysteine, then single, double. So this double bond is extending conjugation, and then double, single, double. So again this double bond has extended the conjugation. So there are two double bond which are extending the conjugation. So 30 plus 30 will be 60 here. Then we can see here there is a exocyclic double bond for ring A. So this is exocyclic double bond for ring A. Then this is a exocyclic double bond for ring C, and there is a exocyclic double bond for ring B. And this cannot be considered as exocyclic double bond because both the carbons are in same ring. So there are 3 exocyclic double bonds. So it will be 5 multiplied by 3, it will be 15. And then we have to find out the ring residues. So there is a 1 ring residue here, 1, 2, then 3, then 4, and then 5. So actually there are 5 ring residues, and you can see here this is a alkyl substituent. So in some of the books this is considered as alkyl substituent, and in some of the books it is also considered as a ring residue. So you can either consider as alkyl substituent or ring residue. So totally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So 6 multiplied by 5, it will be 30. So that's all for this particular structure. So it will be 358 nanometer for this particular compound. So like that you can solve any examples. So I have listed some of the examples for your practice. All these are diene cysteine. So you can see here the structure which has a value of 253, and the structure is showing the predicted lambda max 241. So here only this OR is considered, and this OR has a value of plus 6 nanometer. Okay, it is a special case, so which we have not given. So you consider this as a plus 6. Then for this structure it is 278, and for this particular structure it is 253. So I hope you have understood this. I have tried to explain in a simple way. So you can practice these 4 structures and try to match your answers with these values which are mentioned here. If you have any particular doubt, do comment in the comment box, and if you really like the video, please like and subscribe the channel.